Oh, right. I knew that. Cut that out.
Alright, today we're doing an interview with Iffany, the CEO and founder of
Shanghai Styles.
So could you introduce yourself a little bit and tell us what you do in Shanghai Styles?
So my name is Iffany and I'm a senior at Concordia right now. And Shanghai Styles kind of came about when I realized that fast fashion was horrible for the environment and horrible because of its social impacts. But then, more importantly, I realized that there was no alternatives, especially in Shanghai, in my local community. And because I face this problem and my friends face this problem, it was really easy for me to be motivated to find a solution. And that solution was Shanghai Styles.
Okay. So if you would describe yourself with a quote, so what would it be?
Maybe the quote, I don't know if this is correct, by Dr. Seuss, where it's like, the more you learn, the more you know, the more you know, the more places you'll go. Something like that.
If you would describe Shanghai Styles in 5 words, then how would you describe it?
In 5 words? Okay. Sustainable, creative, collaborative, meaningful, and local.
What was your main motivation to start Shanghai Styles?
Yeah, I think for me, my exigence was just seeing my sister struggle so much to buy secondhand items. And not only that, but it was also just my recent growth of knowledge on the fast fashion industry and on what things are contributing to climate change and what things I can do that will easily alleviate that problem. So I think just a combination of awareness, but also identifying the problem within my own community, in my family, my house, all together just made me really motivated to start Shanghai Styles.
Very passionate about fashion. So what would you think is the most important quality or a characteristic of being a founder of a business?
I think, this is very cliche, but I think it's genuine interest and passion for it. If you don't want to do it, if you don't love doing it, then you're not going to see it through and you won't be able to do it. So don't just pick a problem because you want to create a company or a startup. Identify a problem you're passionate about solving and find a solution that you're also passionate about building.
So on the contrary, what type of people would you think is not fit for starting an organization?
Honestly, almost anyone can as long as they're really passionate about it. But I think something that would definitely halt the process or make it a bit more challenging would be doing it for the wrong reason. So having extrinsic motivation rather than intrinsic motivation, I think that's a big factor. And also going off of extrinsic motivation, doing it for the people around you, but not really not doing it for the people around you, doing it for the appearance of what it'll look like to the people around you. Yeah.
Another niche question, but if your entrepreneurial process, so the process of starting Shanghai Styles, can be fit into a song, which song would it be?
Up All Night. That's fine.
Up All Night. Okay.
Up All Night by Alex, I think, but Up All Night because, the day I came up with the idea, I stayed up all night to see it through and to start right away. I was just really excited.
All right. What do you love about Shanghai Styles?
I think what I love about it is that it meets my own needs. It meets a problem that I face myself, a lack of sustainable shopping alternatives. And I think another thing I love about it is the fact that I've built such a community around it. I really didn't realize the impact of selling secondhand clothes, but you don't realize it. It's in the hallways, my friends will be oh, the other day I saw this person wearing my old shirt. And it's really connecting our community way more than we know, because what we wear is literally part of our lives. We wear clothing every single day, and the fact that it has a story and the fact that it's connected to our community is just really cool, and I feel super special to be part of that, and that's why I just love what I'm doing at Shanghai Styles.
So at first when you started Shanghai Styles, what did you anticipate? How hard did you think it was going to be? Or how did you feel about starting this?
When I first started it, I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't know where I was gonna go.
Right.
I was kind of just I had an idea and I really wanted to try it. And I was obviously like very ambitious. I was like, I'm going to make a website and I'm going to sell clothes and accumulate inventory and start curating and upcycling my inventory. From the start, I knew it was going to be a lot of work, but what I didn't realize was all the little aspects that I didn't think about. So I thought it would just be like running a website. I didn't realize that I would have to take care of delivery, packaging, pricing, like a finance document. Just like certain things just never crossed my mind. Like how the website would calculate a shipping cost, or even like, you know, how will I do pickups? What if people aren't free? Like where will I meet them? Am I willing to spend 10 RMB on the subway to go pick up an item when I'm only making, I don't know, like 9 RMB off of it? Just like little things like that I really didn't think through, that I had to discover afterwards, like when the moment presented itself.
Right. So when that happened, so like how did you work through that challenge?
Well, I do this with my sister, so the fact that I have someone that I can really rely on and trust is very nice and comforting. So if I really was struggling, we would work it out together. But most of the time, I would just like, you know, I would embrace the problems and the challenges I face. So for example, one time it was like, there was multiple problems, but one of them is that I have too much inventory at my house. Like I'm just like overwhelmed with inventory, and that's a problem I want to have. Like I want to have to deal with that problem of having too many items to sell, because that's so much better than having no items to sell. And then another problem was having a bank account and like putting my money somewhere, like trying to figure out what I'm going to do with the money I'm getting. And again, that's a problem I want to have, you know? So I really just embraced the challenges I faced and kind of took them on with positivity, with optimism.
So then, was there any moment like where you actually wanted to give up on Shanghai Styles?
To be honest, no.
Okay.
There hasn't been a moment for me. There's been moments where I'm like less motivated to work on it, but there's never been a moment where I wanted to give it up. No,
That's a very good thing.
I love it too much to let it die.
Okay. So we're gonna go on to a little bit of personal stuff. So who is your role model in terms of entrepreneurship and like business?
I don't know if I have like a specific role model. I think Emmanuel's cool from Boomy. I think, because that's something local. I think Heather Kay from Loop Swim is also really cool. I did an interview with her, and she embodies the passion you need to be a successful entrepreneur. Like when I talk to her, I can tell how much she knows and how passionate she is, how driven she is by her zeal and her zest for doing what she's doing. She definitely inspires me. And then like a brand in general that I find really inspirational is Patagonia, because what they do is for, you know, a social impact, and they're really successful through that. And I think like it's something we should normalize, like that you can have a social enterprise and you can be successful, but you can also have an enterprise where you make money.
Yeah. Okay. So who is your go-to advisor while making Shanghai Styles?
I think Sunil was really helpful, obviously, in the class, and then also Will, who graduated and is really good at entrepreneurship. But even now, like, I still talk to Sunil, I give him updates, but more recently it's kind of been just like a me and Yo-Yo thing. So yeah, there's not really someone. I mean, if really I needed something, I would go to Sunil, but usually my sister and I, we can take it on together.
Okay. Who would you thank the most for success that you've gotten in Shanghai Styles?
Yes, Sunil, because he obviously like guided me so much in the beginning, but I would say mainly my friends, because they were the first people who bought my clothes, and without like someone to, not just my friends, you know, my customers, but it started with my friends, like my close circle who would support me and come to my offline markets every single time. It was them who like really attracted more people to come, because, you know, herd mentality, like when a group of your friends do it, then like another group of friends do it, and then that's when, so definitely like those initial customers, which were my friends, helped me.
Business.
I'm definitely most thankful for them.
Okay, so what would you tell to your middle school self if you could tell yourself something that would help you?
It would be nice if I had started this earlier, because I feel like, you know, I only worked on it a lot for the summer, but then all of a sudden I've gotten busy this year. If I did have more time, that would have been really nice to fully develop Shanghai Styles. But when I was in middle school, I wish I would have just, like, I don't think I would tell myself anything different. I think I, you know, was just satisfied with where I was, and I wasn't really doing anything extrinsically, because in middle school, you know, all I thought about was like the immediate future, and I was kind of just like
Right.
living life, having fun, you know, trying new things. But
You don't want to change that part.
yeah, I wouldn't want to change that part, but if I could tell myself something, it would just be to like experiment a little and go out of my comfort zone. Because the only reason like I came across fast fashion and my passion for it is I decided to do a course over summer, just like out of spontaneity and boredom, but mainly spontaneity and curiosity, just try something new.
Yeah.
And look what happened from that. So I wish I would have done that more in middle school.
Okay. So, why do you think that students should start organizations and businesses?
I think it's a really great way to express your creativity and your problem solving. And also, like, I didn't realize how true this was until like I actually started something, but you learn so much about yourself and about the whole process. Like, seriously, like, I've learned so much. It's definitely impacted me in the most significant ways, ways that I never would have imagined.
So, as you continue Shanghai Styles, as like an ending question, how do you hope for it to keep going onwards?
I would want it to continue when I leave, because I'm leaving at the end of this year. And I would just want Shanghai Styles to always be here, so that there's always an alternative to fast fashion. And I also want it because I think it's pretty inspiring for other people. Like, I just want people to know that like someone like me could do something. So like literally anyone can do something. I have no background in business, barely know anything about entrepreneurship, but I was passionate about a problem and I was willing to learn about it. I was willing to be curious and take a 2-week course about it. And like just like that, you know, I did something that I never would have imagined. So I would just want it to be an example for other people to be inspired by, but also, you know, to combat the problem of fast fashion and always have that alternative.
Okay, thank you for your time today.
Of course, thank you.